And I guess I'm in a singing mood. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Where's my participant list? There we go. And we are live on YouTube. Crazy thing is we're live on YouTube before we actually show that we're live here. So there we go. All right. Iris is here and welcome back. We missed you last week, sweetie. Um, anyway, let's see. Just doing a couple of little technical things here. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Iris, to pray us in.
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, everyone. And I'm going to pray a sin. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you so much, Iris, for praying us in. And uh, I see sweet Susie here. Hi, CD. Good to have you here with us. Susie sings that prayer. It's in a beautiful way. So she's not going to do it now because she's on silence in Bali because of the new year. But next week, maybe if she's here, we can have her sing that prayer for us. So anyway, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with our reading and sharing. And did we finish this section last week? Or do we still have one paragraph, Iris?
Yeah, we finished at right teaching and right learning and right teaching, and it was paragraph 13 where we are.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I was getting ahead of myself.
we're still there.
I mean, we can be here as long as we need to be here, really, right? Because
Yeah.
okay, and I'll tell you why, because this paragraph right here has done so much for me understanding the role of Jesus in this world and what Jesus actually does for us in this world. This paragraph right here, it did so much for me to understand that because, people say, well, Jesus doesn't come into the world. Jesus is not involved in the world. He's telling us right here, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, whomever, telling us right here that whole idea I need do nothing is absolutely true. And I would like to have somebody read this paragraph. Who would like to read paragraph 13? Put your hand up. Iris, thank you, my dear.
Thank you, Lynn. And I think I'm going to love this paragraph. I haven't read it, but I kind of think I'm going to love it. Paragraph 13. I will substitute for your ego if you wish. I will substitute for your ego if you wish, but never for your spirit. A father can safely leave a child with an elder brother who has shown himself responsible, but this involves no confusion about the child's origin. The brother can protect the child's body and his ego, but he does not confuse himself with the father because he does not confuse himself with the father because he does this. I can be entrusted with your body and your ego only because this enables you not to be concerned with them and lets me teach you their unimportance. I could not understand I could not understand their importance to you if I had not once been tempted to believe in them myself. Let us undertake to learn this lesson together so we can be free of them together. I need devoted teachers who share my aim of healing the mind. Spirit is far beyond the need of your protection or mine. Remember this. In this world, you need not have tribulation because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. In this world, you need not have tribulation because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. Yeah, this is one of those types of paragraphs. I think, I can read this like every day. And like I love it because just like the first part of the paragraph, for example, like it says, I will substitute for your ego if you wish. And I will substitute for your ego if you wish. And um, yeah, like it's kind of like we don't need to fight with the ego quote, or we don't need to fight with the thoughts, or like we don't need to fight. Like I'm just reminding myself that like sometimes I'll get into like I'll just say like I'll get into a quote situation which normally is of my own making. Um, and I find myself like fighting with the thoughts about the situation. Like I find myself like but all I need to do is just just ask for help. And I just need to ask for help. That's all. Like I'm not really I don't need to fight, and I just need to ask for help to change my mind, or to see that these thoughts are just images that I have made and they don't mean anything. And they mean nothing, just like in lesson one. And like and so like I really love this line where it says, I will substitute for your ego, speaking to us, like however we understand God or Christ, like however we understand it. I will substitute for your ego if you wish, but never for your spirit. And I love that. And the last line, in this world, you need not have tribulation because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. And that also is, it's just something we can stay with, like, uh, and just kind of um, keep reminding ourselves this. Uh, and again, it's like however we see God of our understanding, um, like we can see Christ as just within us and everywhere. And uh, however we want to see it, it's fine. I'm handing back to Lynn.
Thank you so much, Iris. Yeah. Thank you for that. It's so beautiful to be looking at it in just what does this mean to me? What is Jesus telling me here? And why does he say things like brother can protect the child's body and his ego, but he doesn't confuse himself with the father because he does that. Jesus or the Holy Spirit saying to me, I can take care of you. When people say things like, well, I need my ego if I'm going to drive the car because I need to be able to tell if I should speed up or slow down. Jesus is saying, no, you don't. I'll do that for you. I need my ego to, have a conversation with my friends. Jesus says, no, you don't. I'll do that for you. Anything you think you need the ego for, just let me do it. And see what happens in your life in your world if you let me do it for you. I've been envisioning Jesus being with me, cooking, doing, using the restroom, everything. Jesus right there with me. Um, and it's a different kind of experience um, because uh, I'm seeing it all as being the beautiful thing that it is. Uh, that I love God and I love God's child. And it's just an amazing, amazing difference. Mickey, please, I love to hear what you have to say about this paragraph.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. The line that I really love in this one is sentence two. A father can safely leave a child with an elder brother who has shown himself responsible. And that's Jesus, that's us. That's us still thinking we're separate, still thinking that we have something to do with this personality and this identity. Um, with another, if we were one with God truly and completely let go of the ego, there would be no Jesus, there would be no Mickey, there would be no Lynn or Dove or Iris or Sharon or Raffi. It would all be one. And so since we continue to think of ourselves as separate and children, the Father can safely leave us with the fictitious elder brother that we still think existed and exists with us. But this involves no confusion about the child's origin. So as long as we want to play in this little ego playground, Daddy will give us the elder brother to look after us and the spirit and all of that. But please let this involve no confusion about what we really are and where we really are. And this is just a playground. This is somewhere that we went and we think it's real and we think we need to play around with all this stuff, but we're not even here. And I've been struggling with this for a few weeks now of like, wow, I'm seeing the split. I can actually feel the split in my head where one side of my head, and it's really funny because it just so happens that it's the right side of my head that feels calm and peaceful and like spirit lives there. And the other half of my head, the left side, feels like there's a hamster in there on one of those wheels going craziness going on that other side. And then once, and so I'm really like, I don't know how it's happening, feeling the split in the mind physically. And it's like, yeah, you know, we'll leave you. We'll leave your this elder brother with you when you're still thinking that you can spin around on that hamster wheel and play in that playground. But please let this involve no confusion about where and what you really are. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Mickey. Yes, I was looking for a hamster, but I set up for a cat on the emojis on the chat. So yeah, how beautiful that that first off he recognizes it. Okay, because I couldn't understand this if I hadn't already done it myself. If I hadn't been tempted to believe in them myself, I already had. Remember, I was a man who saw the face of Christ in everyone, and I remembered God. I was a man first, and I was a dreamer just like you, dreaming the dream. And then, I awoke, I came the dawn, I awoke. And so once I figured out I could be free, I came back to get you because you are me. We are the same thing. And, I'm trying to tell you we're the same thing, but you're still seeing yourself as a child and confused and looking, who's my daddy? Where am I? What is going on? How did I get here? All these questions that we're all, trying to figure out. And Jesus comes along and we go, oh, there he is. The big savior's right here. And he's like, nope. I'm just here to help you, take care of you. I've been entrusted with you in your body and your ego. I will do everything to make sure that you make it through. You're going to make it through no matter what. I'm going to be here. But you're just like me. And you know that if you have little brothers or sisters, you have children, eventually they grow up to be people just like you. And this Jesus saying, you're just like me. So come on along and, let me take care of all this crap, the minutia, because I have already been there. In this world, you need not have tribulation because I have overcome the world. And that's why you should be ecstatically happy because you don't have to do it anymore. All the things you thought you had to do, you do not have to do. It's been done already. Rafi has his hand up and then Dove. Go ahead, Rafi.
Yeah, the part where it says, I can be entrusted with your body and your ego. Um, Lester Levinson said it. Jesus said it. Robert Adams said it. Those are the three that come to me right now, anyway. They said, surrender everything over to consciousness, to our infinite beingness, the truth of our omnipresent presence, God, whatever you want to call it. And if you can't do that, give it to me. I'll take it. They all said the same thing. I'll take it. You don't have to. Well, I surrendered my ego and my body over, and my ego went berserk. What are you trying to do? Kill me? Um, and I took all of those feelings, the fear of dying, the fear of separation. Yesterday, the fear of, Lester said, the two deepest fears we have are the fear of dying and the fear of separation, because we think we're these things. And so the fear of separation came up so strong. And I spent, I don't know, an hour maybe or more just releasing it, welcoming up the feeling, wanting security, wanting control, wanting to survive, and letting all of that go. And again, this morning, I turned, well, as soon as I read the sentence, I reminded myself, do it again, surrender it again, surrender it over to the divine power right now. And my ego went berserk again, but this time not quite as strong. There was a whole lot less of it. So obviously it works. Obviously it's true that we need to do nothing. And it's like Lynn said, I don't go to the store, Venus goes through me. I don't do this, Venus goes. I don't bring checks don't show up in the mail to me. They show up because that's the divine abundance being revealed constantly. Um, and and the more I do it, the better it gets. I'm not here to make the dream better, but the dream keeps getting better and better and better and better and better as it's supplementary to the surrender. The more I surrender over and turn everything over to the divine omnipresence, the better everything gets. And I'm not trying to make it better. It just does it on its own. And that's beingness cutting through the dream, showing you, here I am, and I am you. Pay attention. Well, I'm paying attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rafi. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We've been hearing it all this time, and now we just choose to listen. Oh, I think I learned something new today. Oh, uh, exactly. Dove, please go ahead. You're muted.
I was listening to Rafi. That's such a beautiful testimony to the release method. Can you release even more? Yeah, the more I release, the more I receive. It's really incredible. If you're holding on to something, you can't receive because you're holding on. And if you open, oh yes. Anyway, the reason I raised my hand is when Mickey brought up something that I have all these quotes from Ken. I think I added 3 or 4 today. Anyone who wants a quote from Ken, just send me an email and just put Ken quotes in the heading. I'm going to put Ken's quote on, and this probably speaks to exactly what it is that we heard Keith's talking about with regard to Dorothy. Here it is. Many students of the course don't make the connection between the central teaching that the world is an illusion and that they're an illusion too. The I they think is studying the course is an illusion. They believe that the wonderful student or teacher of this course isn't an illusion. If the world is an illusion, they must be an illusion too. You could put the word scam in too. The ego's a scam, and I keep thinking that I'm scamming people by saying Dove is real. No, Dove is a scam. Going on. This is Ken again. And it's the terror of that identification that causes people not to pay attention to that. I like to have people think about the line where Jesus says, the world was over a long time ago. Well, if the world was over a long time ago, where does that leave me? Moi, Dove. I'm part of the world. That's what nobody wants to really look at. And this is where he goes into this is pretty much the story of when Helen was asked how many books to print, and she said 6. And Judy says, 6? Why only 6? Well, one for me, one for you, one for Ken, one for Bill. There's 6 of them there. He says, who else wants to read that they don't even exist? You gotta laugh. Goes on to say, well, if the world was over a long time ago, where does that leave me? I'm part of the world. That's what nobody wants to really look at. And everything that goes on in this world is a defense against my realizing that I was over a long time ago. My individual existence was over a long time ago. It's not here anymore. In fact, it was never here. Ken Wapnick. And, it isn't that this is new. This has been going on for thousands of years. The bard from Avon said the same thing in his play Macbeth. And I think one of us here heard and said, I'll be an actor. Shakespeare says, life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. You gotta laugh. That's it.
Man, I didn't think I'd be getting Shakespeare this morning. Thank you so much, Dove. And it's absolutely so true. Absolutely so true. And the more I see it, the more it's true. I love it. Iris, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, thank you, Dove. Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, I had like a few like different thoughts, but they come into like one. And like about the releasing, like this is true. And it's kind of like a like just coming bringing it together. It's the same like lesson 90. Like let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And like later it says the problem is a grievance and the solution is a miracle, and I invite the solution to come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance. So it doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes it's very, very difficult, but like this really, really, really is like fantastic. It really helps. It really works. And then like I am an illusion. Yeah, because when I mean this is really like really freeing. Like sometimes when I think about it, quote, or I be, and it's like the past, future, the thinking, my thoughts don't mean anything, like the stories of the past and the future and all this stuff. This is like all the beliefs, and all of that is a person, like the thoughts, feelings, past, what happened, what didn't happen, future, all of that. Like, and so when I go into the sense, like I am aware of all this stuff and I am not any of this stuff. Like, and it's very quite peaceful over there. Like, because in that place there is no thinking. It's just what we are, like the essence. And like I find that very, very, very freeing. Like it feels really like a relief. And uh and uh and yeah, like, and that requires like sometimes the lessons can be really tough. Like I was so inspired, Lynn. I was listening to the radio last weekend, and I heard like Lynn's story about like her husband and her friend, and I just thought, yeah, like I mean that was so difficult. It must have been like super hard, like super difficult. Like that isn't even the word. Like, but that experience, even though like in a human, it's very, very painful because of our conditioning and our belief system. Like, but with like looking at it differently in practice. Like I'm open to looking at things differently through God's eyes instead of the eyes of the human. And there was a blessing on the other side, and I was amazingly inspired. I just thought to myself, wow, like amazing, like just literally wow. And like I think it's those kinds of experiences that really are like to really provide like just a transformational experience. Like we just come out of there and just we're completely changed. We see something completely differently. And so I really just was very, very inspired. And so those were like some of my ideas about like thoughts about so it's just like coming into a full kind of a bit like a full circle that all things are lessons God would have me learn. Like all everything, everything when we can look beyond to the miracle, we'll find that there is a miracle there. So I'll just hand back to Lynn.
Thank you, Iris. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, that's probably the biggest taboo for people in our all cultures, it seems like everywhere, is this idea of the special relationship that you have with a spouse or a partner, and that special relationship has a certain kind of definition and it has to be a certain way. And of course, if somebody breaches that, that's a, oh my gosh, how horrible, you poor thing. Um, and believe me, I went through a lot of that my own self, like lots of insanity. You talk about your dark night of your soul there. That was happening to me at the time. I was just going through, complete and total hell. And just having found A Course in Miracles, just having started A Course in Miracles, and having Jesus telling me, well, this is not really happening to you. This is these are all these ideas that you have, these are all just your thoughts. And when I read that, when he said that, if someone asks something about something for you from you, even if it seems outrageous, give it to them, because they think it's their salvation, and you think not giving it is your salvation. You think that not allowing it, that's your salvation. And I read that over and over and over, honestly, thinking, is this really what you're saying here? Jesus, is that if I say no, it's because I'm afraid and I think that that something is going to be lost. Uh, and when I say no, he feels like he's losing something very important. I mean, it was just like a whole thing. It came the dawn, a real revelation to me early on studying A Course in Miracles, of what Jesus means by uh, figure out what matters, decide what really matters. Because once you decide what really matters is, to me, I was at the point because of that either, I figured this out or I was gonna, kill myself. I was, in that much pain at the time that I was, ready to just, screw you all, and not even because I didn't want to live anymore, but just because I wanted somebody else to suffer. I really, I really wanted somebody else to suffer, uh, like I was suffering, or how I thought I was suffering. It's the craziest thing. It's just the craziest thing, you know, what we wish on others and how, oh my gosh. But to recognize that, that doesn't really matter. None of these things actually have any meaning. And all I have to do is let go of the meaning I think that it has. And Let me be taught a new meaning. Let me see a new way. Wasn't that what I was asking for in the first place? Somebody told me later, yeah, you asked for it. You know, you wanted to see. You wanted to let go of what you asked for it. Do you think it's not going to be hard? Hmm? You think you're not going to be challenged? You think there's something that's going to just knock you off the edge? Yeah, over and over and over. But once I hit this idea that this is just it's just a story that I'm watching. It's a dream that I'm the dreamer of the dream. I'm dreaming that this is happening just like any dream, sleeping or waking. The reality of it is it's pervasive because we have so much sensory input from all these experiences. So much sensory things are happening from all these experiences. It's they have these game things now. You can put like a mask thing on your face and on your eyes, and then it plays the scene in front of you. It's like you are in a world. You look around and you see it. You look up and down. You move your body through it. You're in a world because of what you're seeing. And now they have these games at the arcade. Not really a game, but like a ride kind of thing that you get in, and it does that. Does this whole sensory thing. It moves you up and down because it's like motorized and has all this sensation that goes with it, and it feels like you're really there, like you're really on the roller coaster, or feels like you're really in the, going, down the river, in the spaceship, whatever. You feel like you're really there. That's what this is. That's what this is. It feels like we're really here because we're stimulated all the way around by all of the different sound, smell, touch, feel, body sensation, everything. It's made to make us believe that it's really happening. And the only way this what we're reading right here is Jesus telling us, here's the way to get out of that. Here's the way to get off the ride and into reality. Let me take the ride for you. Let me be, I'm the one, because you're not really doing it anyway. But when you let it go and let me be in charge, then I will help you shift your experience of it so that you are no longer believing you're the person in the dream. And so that you can step back and see that you are dreaming the dream. Because it's over. Once again, we come to that idea. It's over. It's done. It happened long ago. We say that, but what does that mean? It means there's nobody here doing this right now. Nobody's here doing this right now. I'm just watching someone do it and thinking that it's me, experiencing it as if it were my own voice. These words were coming through a mouth. This hand that's moving is my own. This screen I'm looking at is my experience. That's how I'm experiencing it, just like I was in one of those rides at the arcade. But I can step out of the ride and see that that's all it is. It's not really happening. So I'm not really driving the car. I'm not really washing the dishes. I'm not really eating the pie. I'm just watching me do these things. And if I can step back and let Jesus be the one who's doing it, so I'm no longer holding the wheel, then I can see it very clearly. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Iris, yeah, please go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Lynn. It's like it's kind of, to me, it's like kind of like a confirmation that somewhere in the course it does say that there is nothing this world believes is true. Somewhere it does say that there is nothing this world believes is true. And it's really takes something to really do the opposite of what we've been quote taught to do. And there are so many like voices that would say to us that, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do this is the right thing, that person needs to be like this way. And it's like God's way is inclusion, and you chose God's way. And I just really find that so inspiring. It's like literally like that we do what the truth is saying, and like the truth is saying that truth is true. And it's like when we take that step, and we have, like, in the beginning it takes faith, like, but we do take that step, and we'll see we're not disappointed, to see it differently. Like I mean, even in like situations when we say like we're really not that willing to forgive, like, no, I'm not willing to forgive this, it's just really terrible, like blah blah blah. But when the pain is really bad, and then we do like forgive, like, I'm willing to release this, or I'm willing to forgive, I'm willing to see things differently, like we aren't ever disappointed, and the experience, exactly what you were saying, Lynn, like the experience changes, then just beginning with how we feel, like we feel better, like we feel okay, well, I feel relief. At least I'm not holding this grievance anymore. And I just feel better, like in myself. And so it's like it's completely the opposite. Like it's opposite of everything that we've been taught, and the opposite of like everything that really we've learned, quote, the learned way of doing things. And it's really, really fantastic. I think that's where our freedom is, like it's like, slowly by slowly we begin to like see, like slowly by slowly, like oh yeah, that's fine, it's no big deal, I don't need to beat myself up over the head with guilt, sin, guilt, and fear. Like it's fine, it's really not a big deal, like with a situation, like, and it's really like I really think like in fact in the course, in like some of the Eastern teachings, it's like how we we use the word awakening, but really it's like freedom. Like we just feel free. Like that's really what it's about. Like just feeling free and ease and relief. Like from all these chains that, like as humans we come here, and then like it's like we just get caught in this like web of like belief systems, and it's just fantastic. And I'll just hand back to Lynn.
Thank you so much, Iris. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. And when you look at it and see how crazy it is, you have to ask yourself, how could I have supported this for so long or thought this way for so long? Of course, it goes back and forth. So because we're so conditioned in these beliefs, so it's just it is just untangling from this web, and yeah, uh, it's a beautiful thing. It's not that simple. I mean, it is simple, but it's not that easy. Um, anyway, Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a great experience. I surrendered everything over, body, mind, ego, everything over. And a little voice came up and said, "Well, don't you want to hang on?" I said, "That's okay, but don't you want to hang on to just a little bit of it? Come on, you don't want to let it all go. Why don't you hang on to just a little bit of it?" Kind of like Doug says you gotta laugh because it's just like you hang on to a little bit of what? Hang on to a little bit of an illusion. Uh, of course, it has no concept that we're divinely guided. And once you surrender completely, you see the divine guide, just the divine protection, the divine uh, um, uh, guidance, protection, love, providing. That's always that omnipresence is always there. That's the reality. But I love it. So don't you want to hang on to just a little bit? It's like if you get on a boat and you take off the thing that's holding it to the dock, and the boat starts to float away, but you put the rope back so that it can only float a little bit away, just in case. It's that just in case thing broke me up, and but it'll fight for its survival, and the thing that's fighting for survival doesn't even exist. It's a concept. It's a word. It's a sentence. It's a thought. There's no reality to any of it. I love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Wow, Rafi. Yeah, that's it. It's a concept. I love it. Dove, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, and what Rafi said just kind of brought up that old saying that we always laugh at. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You use the word scam. Scam me once, shame on you. Scam me again twice, shame on me. You gotta laugh.
Yeah, well, we go back for the scam because it's familiar. You know, I know what kind of a situation it is, but it's better to go to that than what I don't know. So if anybody has anything to say about this, I think we pretty well talked it out. But I'm going to go on to the next section where we're going to start. Ego and false autonomy. And we have about 10 minutes, so it's enough time to get into uh, first what does autonomy mean? Of course, the ego, we have a pretty good idea about what it is, but Jesus is going to explain this to us in a clear and concise way, as always. So, who would like to read paragraph 1 of
I'll
um,
take it.
text chapter 4, section 2, ego and false autonomy. Go ahead, Rafi.
Yeah, it is reasonable to ask how the mind could ever have made the ego. In fact, it's the best question you could ask. There is, however, no point in giving an answer in terms of the past because the past does not matter, and history would not exist if the same errors were not being repeated in the present. Hello. Abstract thought applies to knowledge. Abstract thought applies to knowledge because knowledge is completely impersonal, and examples are irrelevant to its understanding. That's omniscience. Perception, however, is always specific and therefore quite concrete. Well, the only thing that makes perceptions is a mind. The infinite beingness God doesn't perceive, God is. Beingness is. Consciousness is. There's no I see this way, I see that way. It is. It is that eternal, infinite love, and there is nothing else but that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Rafi. You got me right off into thinking about what Bruce and I were talking about this morning. I made my mind up. I made my mind up. I'm gonna do this. I made my mind up. I did make my mind up. And yeah, the best question you can ask is, how the heck, you know, oh, how or why would I have done that? But he's so clear here, too, that um, if we weren't doing it right now, there'd be no reason to ask the question. So I'm constantly making my mind up about what I think is happening here. And I'm doing that through perception. Because if I were in the abstract mind, the impersonal mind, I wouldn't be comparing one thing to another. I wouldn't be seeing things as different, and so perception wouldn't be available, or I wouldn't even be using perception. But here in this mind that I made it up through perception. So, and I love it, always concrete, um, which, is supposed to mean that it's quite solid and can't change. But really, it means that uh, I defined it in this way, and I made it what it is. So, yeah, if I stopped defining things and making them what they are, in my mind, perception has a focus. As my favorite lesson says, perception has a focus. So when we stop focusing uh, on on the dream and focus only what's real, which that's today's lesson. I'm under no laws but God's. The only thing that's real is what God made, and the only thing and so everything else is a faulty perception. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say about this?
I just wanted to add, when it comes to asking questions, great questions for quieting the mind are questions like, how am I the universe? Or how am I infinite love? You don't answer the question, just let it sit there. Ego mind can do absolutely nothing with that. And you get to that peaceful place where you see that you are the I am that I am.
Absolutely, absolutely. And those are very valid questions. I love that. I love the idea of it. Does anybody else have anything? Dove, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to mention the word focus. Uh, brings to mind Regina. She back about, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. The whole inner circle there, Cheryl and Pamela, was all about awareness, watching awareness. That's focus. Awareness, watching awareness. I mean, awareness is impersonal. That's pretty much what that paragraph says. Abstract thought applies to knowledge because knowledge is completely impersonal. So, that's what heaven is. Heaven is an awareness of oneness, impersonal.
Thank you, Dove. Yeah, and of course that was Ramana Maharshi, that that concept of awareness, watching awareness,
Oh,
that we were
oh,
all.
she got it from Ramana?
Yeah, it's Ramana, one of major tenets of Ramana Maharshi is awareness, watching awareness.
Okay. All
And
right.
and that's and that's when she was reading Ramana and doing the inner Ramana and all that stuff. So,
Okay.
but yeah, but yeah, she's the one that brought it to us. So definitely, we all uh we all started doing it, and it was very, very, very helpful. Mickey, please go ahead.
So I was listening to a Keith talk last night where he was talking about letting your attention go wide. And that's pretty much what this is talking about. Abstract thought is letting your attention go wide. When you narrow your focus on and your perception on something specific, and the course talks about the abstract and the specific over and over again. That the ego wants specifics and spirit is abstract. And that's letting your attention go wide when you become more abstract and so I practiced that for a little while of just letting the attention widen to the point where there was nothing specific in my focus. And I found it very helpful. And the more I think about it today, the softer everything gets. Yeah, and Rafi says, "How is the universe in me?" Yeah, and how am I in the universe? If I am the universe, and even broader than that, that's how wide we can get. If you take stuff from your head to the room, to the building, to the neighborhood, to the planet, to the solar system, to the galaxy, and you just keep going with your attention on all of those things, that's when you can really relax and stop being specific. So it was a great exercise he took people through in that talk, and I thought it was really helpful. Thanks.
Thank you, Mickey. Yes, I do that exercise. That or something very similar to that exercise. And the greatest time I ever did it was on an airplane when I was flying at 36,000 feet or something. And that just was amazing, amazing experience, blew me away. So, yeah, that's it. To know that you are this, and let's see, go ahead and turn the mic over to Iris. Go ahead, please, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Mickey. I was just going to say, yeah, I love like that, all those types of exercises because like I noticed that like not sometimes, like all the time, yeah, all the time when I just sit quietly and then like the thoughts just go by, and if there's any thoughts to forgive, then I forgive them and then they go by, and then after some time it takes a while, but after some time I just feel like there's like a big, big space between what is me, what is I, and the thoughts. And that is really exactly what Mickey mentioned. Like, it's like that is really the place where you can really, really relax. Like, it's so, so relaxing. And but it takes a while for like I do that and it takes a while like for everything to like just clear, and then it's like we can just stay there, you know. It's really and I can imagine that that exercise is very, very good for like just, you know, our like the things in our body, and you know, like I bet it's really, really healing like to us, because like the anxiety that we have with like all the thoughts is like I can imagine that is, you know, like very, very harmful to, I mean, we know that like from science, but you know, like when we sit like that, it's really it's really, really, really exactly what Mickey said. It's like really, really relaxing. And I'll just hand back to Lynn.
Yeah, thank you for that, Iris. Yeah, well, anything that we do that connects us in it disconnects us from this small thing that we think we are and connects us to the universe as we truly are. That's going to bring about some peace, and that is very relaxing. That's beautiful. Dove, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, what Mickey was speaking about going wide. Yeah, it's some people call it asking the big questions. Ego asks small questions like, "How could this happen?" No. In the chapter 7, section 7, called the totality of the kingdom, in the last paragraph 10, last line says, "Hey, ego, if you really want to understand totally, you must understand totality." Now, that's the one thing ego cannot do. Cannot go wide, cannot go big, because it says, "Hey, leave me alone. I can do my own thing." Yeah. So the ego thinks small. That's pretty much why we have a section called uh, littleness and magnitude and littleness. The magnitude is the Son of God, and the littleness is the ego. So, and the totality of the kingdom, and the kingdom is home. Ego cannot understand home.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dove. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. That's why we're here together. That's why we join in this place, so that we can remind ourselves this is what we're here for. And I'm so grateful for all of it. So grateful for you guys. And it looks like our time is up. We have a beautiful Saturday coming up. And
It's going to almost reach 80 here.
oh my gosh, yeah. Let me see. Did you hear this is funny. It's not a joke, but it is funny that the new Doge that's going around trying to, shut down all the different things in the government. They were looking at shutting down NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association or Administration. And they asked the guy, well, what is it that you do here? And the guy at NOAA said, well, we are the ones who predict the weather. And the kid said, oh, well, we don't need you. I get that on my phone. And the guy goes, how do you think it gets to your phone?
I get that on my phone.
Oh my gosh. Yep. But this is, I mean, we don't even know where things are coming from. So anyway, all right. Thanks you guys so much. And we will hope to see you all tomorrow morning at Awakening Together.